It started with muscle spasms in my jaw area and Charlie horses in the neck. 2007, at my daughter's graduation, I first had some spasms, just little ones in the car that I wondered where they were coming from. This masticator muscle that you chew with is so strong, I would feel the spasm coming on, and he taught me the pressure point where I'd put my thumb in my mouth and my finger on the other side, and I'd squeeze as hard as I could as that's starting to spasm, and hopefully it would make it let go. Sometimes it would be 2 weeks worth of where I had to walk around and miss work and not close my mouth at all without setting them off. I was avoiding so many things in my life, avoiding talking. I gave up chewing meat or nuts or anything chewing, liquid diets, trying to not move it to set it off because they were so painful. They got worse over the years, and I noticed my chin receding and my face getting thin, and they diagnosed me with Perry-Romberg syndrome.
Common symptoms of Perry-Romberg's, it only affects usually one side of the face. The side of the face that's affected, the skin will start to sink in. Basically, the muscles and the skin are starting to atrophy and shrink. The underlying bone starts to degenerate. That can cause bony deformities, fractures. The process usually will stop at around 10 years or so.
2017, I felt the spasm coming, and it was so intense, and I could not get my thumb and finger in my mouth. It was already clenched too tight, and it brought me to my knees, and I felt the jawbone break, and it came through into my mouth. And I had to wait till the spasm was over, and when it let go, I was able to get my thumb in there, and I could feel the shard of bone, and I held my thumb on that shard, and that's how we got to the emergency room. And so I had to live off of pain pills and muscle relaxants for about 3 or 4 days until I got surgery where they put in a plate and screws to hold the broken bone together. When the plate broke, I had just horrible spasms. It had cracked, but it was wedged together. It wasn't bleeding, it hadn't come through the skin. And I could live with that, but I was back to the liquid diet, trying not to talk, trying not to move, not to make it worse. After it broke, and I had the plate put in and continued with the spasms, and realized I'm gonna have to live this way, that's the point where I reached, Lord, take me now. I'm ready to go, because struggling with this life, with this condition, was hard. Finally, I went to 3 different oral surgeons. They told me I needed a jaw replacement. So I called Jordan, my daughter, who is a principal engineer with Stryker, and asked her, Jordan, do you know anyone that does jaw replacements? I need a jaw replacement. And so she got with a colleague with Stryker who was very familiar with the one and only company in the United States that does custom jaws.
I reached out to Arden because I didn't know anything about the TMJ Custom Concepts company, and I wanted to see if that was going to be the right decision for my mom.
Jordan's inquiry was unique. She did come asking questions about TMJ Concepts. They had already decided that they wanted to go with a custom joint, and being that TMJ Concepts has the only FDA-cleared custom TMJ joint on the market, it just naturally made sense to ask questions about the device and the fit.
My first consultation was with Dr. Perez in San Antonio. I was there for a consult all the way to Texas from Illinois. And he had a cancellation Friday that if I wanted to do phase 1, which is taking out all that broken hardware, the plate, the screws, so that they can get a decent scan to design the new jaw from, they could do it while I was there.
When we first got her CT scan in, she had a fractured mandible on the right side, and the piece of mandible that was still there that was fractured was highly degenerated. The implant that Emily received basically came almost all the way to her chin. It extends back along the inferior border of her mandible and then recreates the angle of her jaw. In the end, the implant did a nice job of recreating the symmetry of her face to match her other side.
My daughter handed me the mirror to look, and I said, Dr. Perez, I love you. I love you. You not only made me functional, but you made me beautiful again. Stryker, they're constantly researching and developing new things to help people and making such a difference, being on the cutting edge, really, of medical treatment. And to be offered this little thread of hope that there's something called a jaw replacement, that they can make a new jaw and fix this. To have it be successful and to be functional and no pain was just an answer to prayer. It really was. So don't give up hope, because around the corner, this company is going to come up with a solution.